I'm accidentally feeding it bread. Oh, you poor thing, you look like you've got bad eyes. Have you got bad eyesight? How about that? Oh, you haven't got that bad eyesight, have you? You sweet little thing. Hey, it's not poison. Probably not your kind of thing. Little putty cat. He's still there. He's still there. It's okay. Okay, so it's time I tell you all about yesterday. I've got to remember because I think where it left it when I stopped videoing and stuff, got loads of insect bites, you know. Ooh, I think where I stopped videoing was when to be honest, I didn't video much. Right, I woke up. Let's go from there. Oh, that's right. Okay, so I woke up with a bunch of school kids looking at me and their parents, and then the school bus. Wow. And it took me a couple of hours of hard cycling to get that out of my brain a bit, because that was a bit upsetting, embarrassing. And then yeah, did a good hard cycle the wrong way for quite a long time. Then I found my way back on course. That's right. And then I went to that's at the river crossing, which was not in use, which I seem to remember had some funny name. Shall not repeat. So that all happened, and I worked out, or I found out, that I needed to go quite a long way round the river crossing. So I had to go sort of northbound along the river course which turned out to be 6-7 miles, and then I had to cross at a bridge, and by then I was in absolute countryside, like utter countryside, French fields, wine region. Actually, it's beautiful. That's right. You know all about this. Well, I don't know why I'm telling you again. So absolutely beautiful, except there were no boulangeries or patisseries or boulangerie patisserie. None of them open. So I tried to wish them open, but they wouldn't open. Bastards. Anyway, I eventually, I was absolutely pooped. I was just, pain threshold, and it was, didn't have lunch. I needed lunch. It was about 2 in the afternoon. I was desperate for lunch. I used my last bit of phone battery to find out where a supermarket was. I found out, and it was like 10 miles away. It was a place called Barbazon or something. Barbadoza. Something Barbadoza. Anyway, I got there, and to me it read Barbados. And I found a supermarket where I decided, I went in and bought everything. all the food in the world. I bought a massive bit of steak, which was going to be my treat for completing the journey yesterday. And that's right, and I decided to put all my washing on, because they had one of those washing machine things outdoors, and the washing machine thing outdoors, that was a funny experience, because I emptied my whole trailer. I took everything out of my trailer. All my clothes were wet and nasty and really stinky. Put them in the washing machine on a 20-kilogram load, and then that took 45 minutes or so. So I ate my lunch, which I just bought, and had a sit down, put my stuff in the tumble dryer. I was talking to another fellow who'd got something to put in there, and he was really sweet. He was a guy who was a nurse who worked in A&E in France, and it was just a nice conversation, you know, the differences between what has to happen in A&E in England and France, the differences and the similarities. Lots and lots of drunks in France too, and they waste a lot of money on sobering them up for a bit, like they do in England, which is very, very sad. But seeing as I was one of those, and I think twice I had to be detoxed in hospital, because I was throwing up blood and all sorts of things. My mother remembers vomiting. I was vomiting blood, according to the nurse. However, that experience finished. This is right, I completely ran out of battery on my phone, on my any of my charging banks. My power banks were completely out because I'd spent 4 days in the wilderness. 3 days. I had that momentary charge and a shower, didn't I? But that was 3 days earlier, so I'd had 2 wild nights since then. Something like that. And so I had no batteries, and even my lights for my bike, which I knew I was about to need, were on like red flashy, not as in like red flashy, but battery red flashy, like, well, you need to charge me, sort of thing. I was like, oh no. So I was trying to cycle in the moonlight, and a woman told me off. She beeped at me and went, Luminaire. And I thought, you know what, instead of going, shut up, you stupid old bag, I thought, no, you know what, you're right. And I would have shouted the same at someone from my car. You feel like going, you don't know what kind of day I'm having. But this is why you're cycling up a really steep hill with a trailer. Did I tell you about my trailer? Another story, another time. And so that all happens, and then I found a town. Brilliant, yeah. Found a town with a square. It looked more like an Italian town than a French town, but absolutely beautiful. Loved it, absolutely lovely. I'd have to go back on my maps and remember where that was. Actually, I might have it on a receipt, because I went into a tobacco, a convenience store. Asked whether I can put my bike light on charge. Only my bike light, not my phone. Put my bike light on charge in her shop for like 25-30 minutes. I was dying for some water at that point too. I had no water left. Bought some water, next a load of water. Then went into a cafe, which was still open. Well, it was a restaurant by that time. It was like 8 o'clock at night. No, it was like 6 o'clock at night, but it was dark. And I had a large coffee. That was very nice. Then I decided, because not only had everything been dying, I was physically so wrecked, not just tired, my legs were killing, but also my arse plus surrounding area. Gooch box, I call it, the gooch box. My friend Chris came up with that one. Was completely red raw and really uncomfortable. Saddle sores. Anyway, went into a pharmacy, and in my best French was saying, because I've been cycling a lot every day, I'm very sore and my skin, do you have a cream? This is in my best French. Vous avez une crème pour le... I couldn't remember what the skin was. And she went, oh, okay. And she went and talked to the pharmacist and came back out and said, and pointed at a few. And she said, is it for your feet? And I looked at her and went, no, it's not for my feet. And she went, oh, say no more. Went back to the pharmacist and came out with the cream of dreams. Anyway, that was a funny situation. So, and then after getting my light back off the lady and stuff, I proceeded to sit on a bench in the square. It was dark, and apply said cream. Obviously covered up, but it did look like I was sitting on a bench in a town square having a rummage. There was obviously there was an intention behind the rummage. It wasn't just like a random rummage. So that's right. Then my sat nav, little Garmin, right, that sits on my bike, which actually did have some battery, like 3/4 battery, amazingly. I was trying to find out where and how far I needed to go from there. I missed a bit of the story out. That said Garmin, after the lingerie trip, sent me on a mission, a big round loop, and I ended up being a mile away from where I was after cycling about 7-8 miles, and I was like, it was good riding. I was like, yeah, focused riding. And I thought, I kind of recognise the lie of the land here, you know? And I was back in flipping wine region. Anyway, so stress and physical tiredness and exhaustion. Back to my story. After applying lotion, I looked at my little sat nav to see how far and stuff I had to go. I still had another 20 miles. Which I thought was less, but it wasn't. It was like, basically, you still got 2.5 hours left. And I'm thinking, oh no, I'm going to get there late. I'm not going to make it. I phoned up this campsite and said, look, I'm really sorry, I don't know when I'm going to get there, if I'm going to get there, but I'm going to be late. I then proceeded, I went into like a like a craze, like a frenzy, like a moment of complete madness. Well, not so much madness, but a moment of determination. I say a moment, 3 hours of pedaling with zero energy, cycling through the brick wall, not a literal one. My sat nav kept telling me the wrong things, kept saying make a U-turn, and we can't receive the satellites, you know, things like this. And all the time I'm rebooting my little sat nav, it's losing battery. My lights losing battery. No phone. Phone's completely dead. Can't even check to see if I'm heading in the right direction at all. No Google Maps. No people. Haven't seen any people. I've been cycling on a cycling path for about an hour of it. Completely dark. Gosh, I was in this frenzy. No music, no nothing, obviously. And I was emotionally going through some of the hardest stuff I've ever been through, but in the now. So a lot of my emotional stuff can be from the past, or thinking about the future, or worrying about stuff. But actually, the stress of in the now, doing something that is an ultra endurance, a bit like what I'm doing, puts you in that position. Wow, man, it was stressful, highly. It was literally, I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, and I've been in stressful situations, but this tops it. Anyway, and I had to beat the rain the whole time and the darkness. And anyway, thought I'd made it. Got to a bit where I thought, I must be close. It was a town, and you know, hit a hill that was just that kind of thing. And I had to get off, change my shoes into my trainers, and walk the bike and trailer up this hill, cursing and all sorts, you know, not a happy bunny. And my anyway, I got to the top of the hill thinking it must be here, the camping must be here. Rebooted my sat nav, another 5 miles to go. 5 miles is like all right on a bike if it's just your bike and you're not late, and you know you could just do that ride, and you haven't been riding for 2 days pretty much solid, if not sleeping at a children's bus stop. I just carried on going. And I was building up this determination. I was shouting the name of the camping La Motte, as a mantra to get me going, to get me there. And I found it. I made it to Camping La Motte about 9 o'clock at night. And I got to the entrance, and I don't know, the relief was like, whoosh, and I fell off my bike right outside it. Just ate a load of dirt, and found my way in the campsite. Basically, the relief was unbelievable. My heart had been beating so fast. I could probably get that because I wear the old Garmin watch. I could probably get the data on my heart rate yesterday. Anyway, got here, rang on the bell, said, I'm really sorry. I know I'm really late, and I'm sorry for ringing the bell, and da da da. She said, I'm coming. And anyway, her husband came out, and he was like laughing. He was like, you look a state, bruv, you know, in French. Come on. He showed me the campsite, showed me where I was going to be, showed me the toilet block and the shower block, showed me everything. He was fantastic. He was absolutely brilliant. And I cried, that's right. I got here, and the relief, while I was setting up my tent and unpacking my stuff, I was in, not tears, because I still can't do that, the physical tears. For some reason I can't do it. I think it's to do with my fluoxetine. But I was sobbing, you know, I was all lump throat. I was sobbing, I couldn't speak, wow. Anyway, cooked my steak. That was just unbelievably great. Ate it like a caveman, because I didn't have the proper knife. I did, but I couldn't be asked to get it out because it was in a part of it, and it started raining. All that. Had a shower. Went to bed. And I woke up alive. Yesterday literally was the hardest day I've had in my life, physically and emotionally. I've never like run a marathon, but I used to do a lot of long distance cross country and stuff like that. So I know pain thresholds, and I know when you're out. You know, when you go, I'm out, I'm done. I was out and done for more than half the ride yesterday. In 2 days, I think I did 150 miles. And I think it was more. I mean, that's what's crazy about it, is because I got lost so much. I think on paper, I did 150 miles, which is 230 kilometers in 2 days, over 100k a day, and I made it. I'm here, and I've been bitten by mosquitoes, and there's more coming. But the relief, and you know, things are quite a serious note, really. The things that we take, or I used to take for granted in life, the small things, the little things, the comforts, in a thing like this that I'm doing, they don't come into it at all. You are alive or dead, and my strive was to be alive. Everything that I've had today, I've been so grateful for. Even a shower, especially a shower, and I think everyone else is grateful that I had that too. I cannot tell you what wonders it has done for my mental health today. Even though I've got a cold now, I was beyond tired, ill, right to the end. My legs are killing me, my gooch box is killing me, everything, the headaches, the back up in the gut, everything. But it has done wonders, I'm saying temporarily, for my mental health. The sense of achievement has been extraordinary. I'm really sorry that this has been the most serious video of the series, but the point of me going and doing this anyway is to prove, to sort of exhibit what it's like to have sort of mental health issues and the ups and downs and that, but B, to prove to myself that I can do it, that I can leave the things in life, my addictions, the things that I long for, the things I lust for, that are only things. They're not real life. They are not live or die. and I'm now faced with live or die, and I live. And you know what? I'm happy to live. Not that many months ago, I didn't want to live. And then a year before that, I didn't want to live. A few years before that, I really didn't want to live. You know, I sort of contemplate suicide fairly often, sort of once a year or so. For a while though, you know, for a month at a time, you know, I sort of plan it, all of that. So what can I say? I'm so proud of myself in the least selfish kind of way, at least arrogant way. And I will not take things for granted. I hope I've been inspiring some people, because it's inspirational. Anyway, back to ridiculous Tom shortly.